This is the story for the local people. And for those of you who are local, there's a jeweler that's been in business for a very long time, B. Franklin Jewelers. So if you belong to the Bonita Springs Community Forum on Facebook, they've donated a lot of things for like Christmas giveaways for our Facebook group. So last weekend, my daughter said something about uh, Winston's baseball game. So he's in baseball. This is his first year out of T-ball, and I ran down there right away to watch him play, and she was there with the other kids, my outlaws, the in-laws. Her husband and the baby. And so I was holding the baby and I was, swinging the baby and doing cute things. You might have all seen her, like the baby giving me the RBF in one of the videos recently. Anyhow, after that, she said, we're going to go over to the cemetery to see Poppy. Winston brought a flower to leave at his grave. And it's sort of on the other side of St. John's Church. This is off of Immokalee Road. So I got in the hatchback of their car because it's just through a parking lot. We drove over there and we, cut the flower down. And I had bought a little tulip garden at Trader Joe's, and all the tulips were open. And it was just a beautiful day after the game. Everybody was in good spirits. I was headed back home or to an open house, and I got all the way back on Old 41. I was almost in front of Buffalo Chips for anybody that knows the area, headed north on Old 41 Road, and I looked down, and the setting was missing from my ring, and it was a ring that Jerry gave me. And I got out of my car. I was parked in like the middle suicide lane. I got out of my car. I dug through the seat thinking, in the console of the car thinking, it's got to be here. And then the next thing I did was get into the photos. My daughter, forever taking photos all the time, anytime I'm holding the kids, because, I had a rough couple medical years a few years ago. So she's trying to capture pictures. And thank goodness she did, because I was able to narrow it down that between the bleachers when I was holding the baby and the cemetery, I lost that setting. And so I'm headed back to the scene of the crime. I started at the bleachers. I looked all over. I looked under the bleachers. I went to back where the coach gave the kids the after game pep talk. And I was just like looking everywhere, frantic, absolutely frantic. And then I went back to the cemetery. I went back and forth to the cemetery 3 times, looking at the grave, walking up to the grave, looking in the street where I had gotten in and out of the hatchback in both locations, looking where I got into my car, all of the things, trying to figure out where I could have lost this stone that's probably the size of a dime. It's not a single stone, it's like a setting. So anyhow, somewhere in the middle of all that, a woman noticed I was looking for something, and she's like, what are you looking for? And I showed her my ring with the missing setting, and she was looking, and her granddaughter was looking, and these people owed me nothing, right? On one of the, maybe the second or third trip, I gave her my business card and said, I'm just going to keep looking. If you find it, please call me. And on the third trip back, she still hadn't found it. So I went to the grandstand booth where the concessions are and asked if anybody turned in jewelry, and told them I lost some and gave them my business card. And I went back. I'm like sweating, and I'm having like middle-aged lady fog, and I'm just like, when you're emotionally wrecked over something. Like, I've dealt with a lot of loss over the last couple years, stuff that a lot of people don't even know about besides Jerry and health issues. And I went back, and I'm in that area where the red clay is, where the coach gave the after game pep talk, and I found sunglasses, and I knew they belonged to one of the kids on the team. So I'm like, well, somebody else lost something. I'm gonna hang them on the dugout door. So I hung them on the dugout door, and I'm looking around, and the national anthem's playing, and Jerry and I always stop for the anthem. So I stopped for the anthem. I have my hand over my heart, my hand with the ring with the missing setting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. And the anthem gets over, and I turn around, and this setting is on the ground right in front of me. And I went to go walk back to the concession booth to let them know I no longer was missing jewelry. And the lady was in a truck and got out. They were about to leave, and she said, I'm sorry I didn't find it. And I said, I did just now. And I was crying, of course, and I still feel like crying. It's hard to lose something from somebody you love that you just lost a year ago. And I'm crying and she's crying, and her granddaughter, who probably is nothing but 7 or 8 years old, she's crying. And she came out, and I got down and I thanked her because she's a little girl that had no skin in the game. Us adults get our panties in a bunch over things like this. So anyhow, that's where I ended up at B. Franklin Jewelers, and this is the ring. This is the setting part that was missing, and I don't know that you can see it because the light is so bright, but they cleaned it and polished it, and it's just beautiful. And they do such lovely work. They do trustworthy work. I trust them with things like this. I trust them with my daily driver necklace that I've had so long that it almost sawed right through the little hole in there. He was like, oh my gosh, you're going to lose that. So like he caught that and had it repaired for me. He's probably put a new clasp on here 3, 4, 5 times since I've owned it, because I take it on and off every day and I just wear it out. And he actually, these were a gift also. He actually put a new spring in there because the spring that it came from was super cheap and it was rusty. And I said, just do them both, because if one's going, the other one's going. And they're a lovely family. It's a family-run small business here in Bonita Springs. I can't say enough good things about them. I can't say enough about them fixing things before they break. And even when I was standing there, somebody had brought in something that was so small, and apparently anybody else would have charged for it. And the lady said, there's no charge. And she's like, really, why? And she goes, oh, I fixed it with the turn of a screwdriver. Like, that's the kind of people that they are. And I just wanted you to know that. They do just such a lovely job. And if you have jewelry needs, especially repairs, or other like birthstone purchases, you should consider stopping in there and taking a look. They definitely deserve the business.